you've detected some differences with according to age in terms of media usage. Can you speak to that?
Uh, yes, we produce two major syndicated studies every year. There's more syndicated studies, but two of the major ones are one is titled State of Cable and Digital Media, focused more on traditional and on-demand and DVR television and uh, the multi-channel services that provide that to consumers. Um, and the other is called Multi-Platform Content and Services, which focuses on consumer adoption of different technologies and what they're using those technologies for. And we flush out the detail. What we consider three major uses: information, communication, and entertainment. And of course, the major shift that we found in I use the word shift myself, but the major addition that we've found to that mix in the use of mobile and computer devices is the entertainment portion. These are known as information and communication devices. And of course, communication and social media sort of straddles the fence between communication and entertainment. So communication has developed in interesting ways, and so has entertainment. And of course, the focus has been on video entertainment. So now the world is being analyzed that consumers, not differentiating between young people and established families and households and even older people, now have all this array of ways to get television. So how is that going to impact, as you asked, television itself, and how are these technologies going to develop? And they all have a healthy future. I'm not a financial analyst, but assuming they have a business model and their finances are in order, as far as consumer usage is concerned, there's definite interest and there's definite adoption. One thing that's accelerating the trend is that simply as, for example, as consumers went from dial-up to broadband, of course, everything on the internet was designed for broadband. So that just accelerated the trend towards making sure you go to broadband, otherwise you can't access what's good and useful on the internet. Same thing with video on these platforms. The consumer showed an interest, so therefore now all the devices being put out there, Droids and iPhones and Blackberries, are sophisticated devices that you're putting in the consumer hands to actually be able to use it. And that's what's happening. The capability is becoming ubiquitous, just like the TV was ubiquitous in the home and it led to the success of cable television. That device was there for them to access. So now all this video, a major finding of our studies is that the video is now in consumers' hands and they are using it. So and that has implications for all segments of consumers. But one area of particular interest to us when we talk about the future of television is what happens, because we're not there yet. Not that many years have passed since this has been happening. When this, I call it like the 17, 18-year-old to 26, 27-year-old bracket moves from their vagabond, shared, no place to call home, no place their own, no living room to have their own TV set. And now they don't have to hone in on that because they got their own little devices in their hands and they can find programming wherever they want it. What happens when they will, and they inevitably will, finally establish their own homes, families, assuming the human race continues, they will establish their own homes and families and have that space for their own television. And of course we can expect, and it's already happening, that those TVs will be directly internet connected. So that's the big question that we're dealing with. And some people phrase that, well, is there going to be cord cutting?
That was going to be my next question.
So that's the way people phrase that. When you say, what happens when that happens? Oh, we must be talking about cord cutting.
Or cord shaving.
Or cord Exactly, or cord shaving, the Netflix versus HBO kind of. And I have to say, we can talk about the ins and outs, but I'll first come out with a non-answer. So the answer is yes. All of those things will happen. Not in a gloom and doom kind of way. Again, let's bring the business models and the case studies to bear on this new phenomenon. But you can't expect young people to come of age in front of their televisions with a whole different set of capabilities, attitudes, and behavior. Those of us currently in front of these TVs came with a whole passive attitude and behavior toward television, and those on the one side, oh no, cord cutting, people are tied. They just want it to be passive, and they're tied to it, and they want professional schedulers and programmers who are just going to sit back and watch as an either-or phenomenon. Not true. On the other hand, what do we need channels and networks, and they'll find their own programming. Also not true. And our research is starting to show this relationship between the big television screen and these mobile devices. One of those relationships is promotional, marketing and advertising, and tune in. That's how people know about this content, and then can go find it in a lot of different ways. The other is quality content. There'd be no need in this new environment to find lowest common denominator programming. So I think all programmers, and all this addresses, so if you don't step up to the plate and address these new needs and capabilities, there will be cord cutting, and massively. If in fact you do, and you can generate a quality passive experience that's easy to access, there will not be cord cutting.